Have you ever wondered why so many Canadians are struggling to make ends meet? The cost of living crisis in Canada has been a harsh reality for many, with major increases in the cost of shelter, food, and fuel. Imagine seniors returning to work, retirees facing financial strain, single parents barely supporting their families, and individuals grappling with the constant rise in living costs. This struggle isn't limited to a select few. It's widespread, affecting Canadians from various backgrounds and age groups. Financial hardships are just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, this crisis has led to mental health challenges and concerns about the future. In the year 2023, the crisis was marked by surging grocery prices, a nationwide mortgage crunch, and unaffordable rents. These factors, combined with stagnant incomes and rising interest rates, have led to a growing class divide and a homelessness crisis. These are not mere statistics, but the harsh realities of individuals and families all across Canada. Behind every percentage point and every dollar sign, there's a story to be told. Let's dive into the lives of some Canadians to understand the nuances of their financial struggles. Take, for instance, a retiree living in Newfoundland and Labrador. After a lifetime of hard work, she expected her golden years to be comfortable. However, the skyrocketing cost of living has put her in a precarious situation. Despite her meticulous planning, the rising costs of shelter, food, and fuel have strained her retirement savings. Next, consider a senior who was looking forward to enjoying his twilight years. Instead, he finds himself returning to work, not out of choice but necessity. The pension he worked decades for is now insufficient, leaving him no choice but to rejoin the workforce. Then there's the single parent in Toronto juggling multiple jobs to make ends meet. She's not only grappling with the rising cost of living, but also the challenge of providing for her children. The housing crisis and surging grocery prices have pushed her to the brink, forcing her to devise creative solutions to keep her family afloat. Moving west, we meet a young professional in Vancouver. Despite earning a decent income, he's struggling with the high cost of living in the city. The affordability crisis has forced him to make difficult choices, like living in a van to save on rent. Lastly, let's look at the situation of a recent immigrant in Ottawa. The promise of a better life brought him to Canada, but the reality has been far from it. The high cost of living, coupled with stagnant income and rising interest rates, has led to financial strain, making the dream of home ownership a distant one. These stories bring to light the human dimension of the cost of living crisis. The housing market is a critical factor in the cost of living crisis. But what role does immigration play? Indeed, immigration has a significant impact on housing costs. As the Canadian government increases the number of permanent residents welcomed each year, with a target of 500,000 by 2025, the rapid population growth has put immense pressure on housing, healthcare, and services. While immigration brings many benefits to a nation, including economic growth and cultural diversity, it can also exacerbate housing affordability issues when not managed properly. The influx of new residents increases demand for housing, which in turn drives up prices and rents, making it harder for both newcomers and long-term residents to find affordable homes. This strain on housing has been felt by many Canadians. From Newfoundland to British Columbia, stories of individuals and families struggling to afford a roof over their heads are not uncommon. Seniors returning to work to pay for shelter, single parents juggling multiple jobs to keep up with rising living costs, and young adults delaying life milestones like home ownership or starting a family. These are the faces of the housing crisis. Public opinion reflects these struggles. Polls show increasing concerns about the impact of immigration on services and infrastructure. The worry is not about immigrants themselves, but about the government's ability to manage the surge in population and its effects on housing affordability. It's important to note, however, that this isn't an argument against immigration. Rather, it's a call for better planning and policies to ensure that the benefits of immigration are balanced with the need for affordable housing. This includes strategies like speeding up housing construction, improving infrastructure, and ensuring that newcomers are spread out across the country, rather than concentrated in a few major cities. Addressing immigration policy is a crucial part of tackling the cost of living crisis. It's not about closing doors, but about opening up opportunities for everyone, new and old residents alike, to have access to affordable housing. Because at the end of the day, everyone deserves a place to call home. The cost of living crisis isn't just about today, it's also about the future. When we look at the impact of the current financial strain on the lives of young adults, we see a significant shift in life choices. The high cost of living is causing many young adults to delay one of the most natural progressions of life, becoming parents. In cities like Vancouver, the cost of living has skyrocketed to such an extent that young couples find it financially challenging to afford children. This is not a decision made lightly. The dream of having a family is being put on hold, replaced by the harsh realities of financial constraints. This delay in parenthood is leading to a record-low fertility rate in Canada. But what does this mean? It means a smaller, younger generation supporting an aging population. This has potential long-term implications on the healthcare system and economy. The high living costs are not only affecting the present, but they're also shaping the future in ways that could be detrimental to the societal structure and economic health of the country. While there have been discussions about incentivizing parenthood, such measures have shown limited short-term impact. It's clear that more sustainable solutions are needed. Accessible childcare, support for balancing parenting with other aspects of life, and financial stability are crucial to support young people who want children. The cost of living crisis is a complex issue with far-reaching implications. It's not just about the struggle to make ends meet today. It's about how these struggles are shaping the future of generations to come. It's a crisis that requires immediate attention and action, not just for the sake of the individuals affected today, but for the well-being of future generations. The cost of living crisis is impacting not just the present, but also the future generations of Canadians. So, what can be done to alleviate the cost of living crisis? Now that's a question to ponder. As we delve into the matter, 3 potential solutions surface: accelerating affordable housing construction, raising minimum wages, and implementing universal basic income. Let's start with accelerating affordable housing construction. The housing crisis has been a significant driver of the cost of living surge. By increasing the supply of affordable housing, we could provide a lifeline to those grappling with soaring rents and mortgages. This doesn't mean just building more houses, but creating sustainable communities with access to essential services like healthcare and education. Next up, raising minimum wages. Many Canadians are working multiple jobs just to keep afloat. By boosting the minimum wage, we could help ensure that work pays enough to meet basic needs. This doesn't just benefit those on the lowest incomes, but can stimulate the economy too, as people have more money to spend on goods and services. Lastly, we come to the concept of universal basic income. This is a regular, unconditional payment made to all adults, regardless of their income or employment status. It's designed to provide a safety net, preventing anyone from falling into poverty. While it's a bold idea and one that's been debated at length, it could be a game changer in tackling the cost of living crisis. Each of these solutions comes with its own challenges, and none of them can be seen as a silver bullet. They would all require careful implementation and a commitment to long-term change. But if we want to ensure that everyone can afford a decent standard of living, they're certainly worth considering. Addressing the cost of living crisis requires bold actions and creative solutions. And these are just a few of the ways we can start to turn the tide. It won't be easy, but with determination and a collective will, we can make a difference. The cost of living crisis in Canada is a complex issue with far-reaching implications. We've delved into the many layers of this crisis, from the personal testimonies of financial struggle to the impact of immigration on housing costs. We've seen the dire circumstances of retirees, single parents, and individuals grappling with the rising costs of shelter, food, and fuel. We've also examined how this crisis is affecting life's major decisions, with many young adults delaying parenthood due to financial constraints. The affordability crunch is indeed a pressing issue that's impacting the very fabric of Canadian society. But as we've discussed, there are potential solutions. While there's no magic bullet, The implementation of policies that reduce regulatory barriers, provide tax relief, and promote market efficiency could help alleviate the financial strain on Canadians. Moreover, the construction of affordable housing, the promotion of living wages, and the provision of accessible childcare can play a significant role in mitigating the cost of living crisis. While there's no one-size-fits-all solution, it's clear that addressing the cost of living crisis will require a concerted effort from all sectors of society. If you found this video informative and believe it's a conversation that needs to be had, we encourage you to share it with others who might find it useful. Share it on your social media platforms, with your friends, colleagues, and family. Your voice can help amplify the urgency of this crisis and the need for solutions. If you found this video helpful and would like to support our work in raising awareness about important issues like these, please give this video a like. Your likes help us reach a wider audience and make a bigger impact. And finally, if you want to stay informed and be part of our community, remember to hit the subscribe button. We regularly upload content like this, and by subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos. Thank you for your support. Together, we can make a difference. Let's continue to educate ourselves and others, and let's strive to make Canada a place where everyone can afford a decent standard of living.